There's probably like 500 people there, whatever, in the rink, but no one's really looking at you, in a sense, unless you're the Sidney Crosby or whatever the team. But you're just so exposed on fight night. You're so vulnerable. You know what I mean? You've got everyone looking at you, and it is a different dynamic for sure.
I'm a champion, I can never stop. If you put me in the square, I square up like a box. Good people, bad intentions, the tail of the tape. See the passion in my eyes, the real ones can relate. I said, I'm a champion, I can never stop. If you put me in the square, I square up like a box. Good people, bad intentions, the tail of the tape. See the passion in my eyes, the real ones can relate.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 43 of the Good People, Bad Intentions podcast. My name is Matthew Pine, and our guest this week is Luc De Ste Croix. And he's an amateur MMA fighter from Dartmouth, Nova Scotia, who fights out of Tower 1 MMA, that's also in Dartmouth. And that's headed by Gavin Tucker. Not too long ago, we actually had Jake Kelly on, and he is also one of Luc's teammates that also fights at Tower 1 MMA. There's quite the dynamic that's going on there as far as some of the best fighters in this area coming together and really focusing on the craft. And Luc is a number one amateur lightweight fighter in Canada as well as in the Maritimes. And he actually, May 6th at Fight League Atlantic 9, had got his first amateur title, and that's when he fought against AJ Market. He won 43 seconds into the fourth round with a submission, a triangle choke, and that got him the FLA amateur lightweight title. So the future is really bright for Luc, and I'm really excited to have him on to kind of see what that future will look like as far as closer to now. And FLA 11 is going to be September 30th in Pictou, Nova Scotia. I'd be really curious to see if there's anything being planned for him for that event, and if he knows anything about what kind of fights he'll be having, whether he's going to be going pro anytime soon or if he likes staying into the amateur circuit. So without further ado, guys, here's Luc. All right, Luc, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. I hope you're doing well. How's the summer been treating you?
Good. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate coming on here. And it's been good summer. Just been training, going to the well, going to the gym every day, and it's been good to me. So making a lot of improvements in the gym, getting better every day. So there's nothing better I could ask for.
And not too long ago, you had won a lightweight amateur title for FLA. And kind of after that, what has it been like now, training for possibly your next fight?
Yeah, I fought May 6th for that amateur title. It went my way. It was a great fight. Things to learn from. As of anything, but I was in the gym Monday, so I fought Saturday, and I was watching practice in the gym Monday, so I was right back to it. I basically took that week off, but I went to the gym every day just to watch practice, and then the following week after that, I was right back in the gym. I had no injuries. Didn't take much damage that fight, and I think I've been doing that every day, 6 days a week since then. So I think I feel like I'm making big leaps from how much I'm progressing now, where I'm at as a fighter now, than even where I was just May 6th. So yeah, I'm just grinding, really. I'm just living that amateur fighter life, just getting better every day.
And you're training at Tower 1, headed by Gavin Tucker. And that card that you were at, FLA 9, right?
Yeah, FLA.
Drake Farrell was fighting there as well, also in Tower 1?
Oh yeah. We had four guys originally on the card. One got canceled the day of, so we only had three fighters fight um, on the card, but we all won. It was a sweep, and yeah, it was Drake was fighting in the main event. Drake Farrell, and we had Brandon Binder um, fighting. I think he opened up the card actually. So FLA usually they know their fights well. They know what fights to open up with. It seems they always pick a banger of a fight to open up their card. So Brandon opened up the card and got the W, and started the ball rolling. And we had like the whole gym, like pretty much everybody was there in the back. The whole back room was really just pretty much half the gym, and then the other half was in the crowd in attendance. So it was a Tower One party for sure. It was a good night.
And you fought. Did you go against Drake Farrell in the semifinals for submission kumite?
Yeah, yeah. Me and Drake. Yeah, we went. We had a grappling kumite against each other. So it's funny. And I knew he was going to be a tough opponent at the time. It was probably almost 2 years ago now. But I think I do think about that. It's funny. We had a good match there. He ended up getting the better of it, but maybe we'll do it again in the kumite. But jiu-jitsu, not it's not MMA. It's what I mean. I feel jiu-jitsu is a little more laid back in that sense, where you can have fun. Actually, like you can compete, against someone pretty well.
So did you find it like, because I'm always interested in the dynamic, but going from competing against somebody to now kind of working with them and having them as a teammate, like is there like something that has to get squashed internally when that happens, or?
Definitely not. Probably if you like fought someone, I'd say maybe that's different. But jiu-jitsu tournament, like the jiu-jitsu community, I'd say in like Atlantic Canada is such a tight knit community already. Like you're gonna be talking to the guy you just had a 6 minute, very intense back and forth match with, or that probably compete against 3 times in 1 year, because it's not the biggest scene either, right? So nothing like that. But just making each other better, like just like realizing like, whoa, we're good partners, like in the gym, like we're good sparring partners. We have good rhythm on the mitts too as well. So no, just yeah, nothing like that.
I kind of looked at your other cards and I kind of seen again some more similar faces. Like when you fought, I think it was your second fight in Elite One. I believe that was in was it in 2020?
2018 or 2019?
20, okay.
I think it might have been 2018.
I noticed that again some familiar faces there. Jake Kelly was there. Drake Farrell was there. Pat Carroll was there. So do you feel like when you're at Tower One now that there's a lot of familiar faces that you've seen around the scene, and everybody's just trying to improve and get to the best of their game?
You know, I'd say more just that specific Elite One card. It is pretty funny because like Pat, Jake Kelly, Drake, myself, and like Pat and Jake obviously trained together at the time. But me and Drake, like we didn't know anybody. We didn't know each other at the time. And looking back at it, like basically almost 5 years ago, it is. We have talked about that in the gym. We're like, yeah, we were all in the same card and we didn't know each other. But I'd say at the gym right now, it's just really like tight knit gym. For sure, because like everybody's so focused on getting better and holding each other accountable. And when you see someone 6 days a week, and you're there for like 2 hours, 3 hours, like you're gonna build a bond and camaraderie. So, and you're gonna get to know each other, and I think that goes into the culture of the gym as well. So there's a great culture in that gym, and just happy and proud to be a part of it. Happy to be in the room.
What has the culture been like now that, obviously Gavin started the gym a while ago, and now he's actually going to be having another fight in the UFC. So what has it been like, seeing him going into camp for a UFC fight, and how has that affected kind of what's been going on at the gym?
Man, it's exciting. It's awesome to be a part of. Like just to get I want to be there for my teammate essentially, who's also my coach. He helped prepare me for my last fight in May, and I just wanted to make sure that I was there every day and an available training partner for him. Not kind of be like, yeah, thanks for helping me out, and then time to take summer off, go to the beach, time to have a couple beers. So I've just been getting the rounds and doing just being present in the room. So I'm a sparring partner if he needs me. So it's been really exciting to be a part of it and see the process. And it's not it's the same thing as all the other fighters. You know what I mean? We're just getting ready for a fight, and this happens to be at the highest level of the world, of MMA. So it's really cool to see, and it's making myself better as well, right? Like I've realized, like, man, like I basically put in like a good training camp, you know what I mean? Like as well, like, and I'm better than when I started 2 months ago, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's awesome.
Does this give you the itch for possibly a return September for the FLA 11?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like I'm in the best shape of my life for sure. For sure. Like, I'm 24 now. I'm really starting to feel like my strength is coming in, and I really, I'm looking for a return till I sign the contract, and then it's like, oh shit, like it's like this is real now. Like, it gets a little more real when you sign that contract, and then your thoughts start going crazy, but you go through with the process anyways, and do everything that you can to prepare yourself, even before that contract is signed, right? Like I don't really have to get ready if I stay ready is always a common thing that's said, combat sports, but definitely looking to get a return in soon for sure. I don't know when that will be, but it will be soon for sure.
And you're ranked number 1 in the Maritimes and in Canada as a lightweight amateur.
Yep.
What do you feel like the future holds for your career?
That's something that I've been speaking with guys in the room, my coach, FLA. I'm proud and I'm happy to achieve that number 1 ranking in Canada. Like I started training when I was like 16, and I just wouldn't have thought that was something. If you would have told me then that this would happen, like that I would achieve that top spot in the amateur rankings, you almost don't have confidence sometimes, but sometimes the sky is the limit, and you just put your head down and just do the work, you'll be amazed at what can happen. And so we'll see what happens for sure, but I'm just looking forward to the future. I'm looking forward to more growth, and it's good to have a plan, but you gotta do the small steps in between. So, and then it builds into something great. So I'm looking forward to the future.
So when you talk about your game and how it's been changing over the time, like what are some things that you feel that really stand out as far as you've been seeing the improvements in?
Yeah, I mean, it started January 1st of 2023. That was when I started training at Tower 1. And I really just hit I'd say I was hit in the face with a sobering effect, because it showed me where I was at and kind of where I thought I was at. And you think that you have these things in your game until you get put in in a room with someone who does have those things, you know what I mean? Not just in their mind, but they can do it 10 out of 10 times to anybody, you know what I mean? So feel like my game has shot up so much since that day. Like the rounds are just so grueling. I've had, you know, harder rounds in preparation for my last fight than the fight itself almost felt. More laid back. I was like, oh, like, and not every fight is like that, but that specific one was. I was like, okay, I wasn't like in some of the sparring sessions in between. I'm like at the gym, I don't know if I'm gonna make it out of this. I'm like, geez, like I can't really breathe right now, which is, you know, what you need. I think I've heard Corey Sandhagen talk about that, where he's like, best way to push your cardio is like, you know, that's where I get most of my cardio from. So I'm just getting pushed, and I'm just, you know, evolving from it.
And do you feel like going about this? I mean, you talked about your confidence, and you know, that you feel like you're in the best mindset, best shape right now than ever last 2 months. So do you feel like looking at yourself, like you were mentioning how you thought you were at a different spot than where you were, but no doubt that you would beat your previous version of yourself a lot easier?
There's no there's no doubt. If I was to fight myself from, you know, even if I was to fight myself on May 6th, this present version of myself would kick his ass. Pretty sure. Like, I'm confident in saying that just from May 6th. So getting better every day. So, and I plan on keep that going. Just keep doing the work. And that's got me that's what's got me here is hard work. So if I stop now.
Do you do bricklaying as your normal 9 to 5?
Yep. Yeah, I actually got the union shirt on right now. So yeah, my 7 to 3:30. But I've been doing that for a long time. And I definitely think that kind of gives me a slight edge. You know, I'm basically working out for 8 hours, in a little strength and conditioning circuit. Basically, you know, it's that is a tough gig. Like, I get huffing and puffing, not during my shift. Sometimes I'm huffing and puffing. I'm it's a cardio push just doing that. So I enjoy that, and I think of it as training. I think of it as this is making me better as well. This is giving me that edge where, you know, it's gonna be that different kind of strength where, you know, you it's like, what is this guy made out of? So
is physical labor and that sort of thing, is that something you've always had in your life? Is that ability to do things with your hands and
Yeah, I'd say, like, I played hockey since I was 5 years old, and then I gave it up when I turned 18. And then, like, a lot of guys I played with continued playing. They played in, like, junior hockey. Like, I knew a bunch of guys who played in the Q, played with a bunch of them. And I just knew I wanted to go into MMA. Like, right, I was like, okay, now it's full time. Like, this is it. Because I'd already been, like, thinking about it in high school. I was 16. I'm 17. I'm like, oh, I'm kind of splitting my time here. So I've always been playing sports my whole life. And you know, it's definitely, I've always been one to push a pace and playing any sport. Growing up, played baseball. You know, I was always outside, and I was always playing to win. So there's always something that I've always been athletic. Sports have always been a part of my life. Exercise.
When we look at, like, hockey and all the other team sports, I mean, if you lose the game, it's possibly, you know, by teammates, or they didn't pass, or
yeah.
But now it's I didn't do this.
Yeah.
So was that a big transition where you're taking, like, 100% of the accountability and that sort of thing?
For sure. Oh yeah, it's a huge difference. You know, like, I played. There's a couple big hockey games I played. There's probably like 500 people there, or whatever, in the rink, but no one's really looking at you, in a sense, unless you're the Sidney Crosby or whatever the team. But yeah, it's completely different. You're just so exposed on fight night. You're so vulnerable. You know what I mean? You've got everyone looking at you, and everyone's gonna be judging you. Everyone's gonna be, you know what I mean? Watch all eyes on you. So you better show what you're made out of. So it is a different dynamic for sure.
Have you been able? Because I'm always curious. Somebody comes from you're from Dartmouth.
Yep. Grew up here my whole life. Yeah, so never left yet. Couple trips.
I'm always curious if people are able to make the parallels between some of the hockey greats that have come here, and a career as a professional athlete, as a fighter. Have you been able to kind of look at the Sidney Crosbys, etc., that come from this area, and maybe see that you can do excellence in your own sport?
I mean, definitely not so much hockey, but definitely the local MMA fighters, the TJ Grants, the Gavin Tuckers, you know what I mean? I watched his first fight when UFC Halifax came. The all the OG guys, like there's tons of guys I could name, you know what I mean? And just you start going through the loophole of Tapology, and you start looking at guys' records that fought in, you know what I mean, Atlantic Canada, the Mike Mallots who trained out of here, right? Like Mike Mallot's, like all the top guys. Those are more the guys that I look at. I'm like, okay, like even that those are the guys that did it, you know what I mean? So not so much the hockey players. I always compare hockey though out here. I'm like, this is like the Dagestan of hockey. Like, there's something in the water here. Like, we make the best. There's no one better at making hockey players than Canada, and even like Nova Scotia. Like, I always say that. I'm like,
you mentioned TJ Grant, somebody that I really admire, that was actually on the first MMA card in Nova Scotia. So not only like was he like a part of basically making history as far as the person to go the farthest really in the sport from here, but he was also there the first event.
Yeah, that's crazy, and that's someone I've always looked up to. You know what I mean? Ever since I started getting into the sport at 16, and I found out. You know what I mean? I started digging deep into the history of it. So that's, definitely somebody, you know what I mean? I feel like every fighter around here looks up to for sure. You know what I mean? Like, it's just OG, and like to make it to the pinnacle of the highest level, it's just, it's inspiring for sure. It's really inspiring.
And then seeing Gavin at the second time that the UFC was in Halifax, put on the performance he did, like I don't know what stuck out the most for you, but to me it was the comb of the hair with the sweat and kind of the swagger that he had that whole entire night, and knowing how hard that would be to do that when it's everybody that that's watching. And
the whole city came out. He was like the third fight before. I think he was the fight before the co-main, maybe. Like, he was on the main card because like UFC knows it is the hometown. You know what I mean? Not from here, but lives here and trains out of here. I was there for that fight. That was the first MMA event that I saw live, and like, which is crazy to think of, because like now I'm training with him. Now I'm in the room with him. I'm getting the rounds in. You know what I mean? Like, I think about that sometimes. Like, wow, it's pretty fucking crazy to just be a random person watching out of 10,000 people, and now I'm training with them. So it's pretty awesome journey in that sense.
So I kind of want to put a shift in gears here to something that I think is really important to you. I understand that the last few times that you've been fighting, you've had Tyler Algee's name on your shirt, and I understand that you were teammates and that he had you guys both fought at the Fighting Alliance 7
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
I'm just curious, like,
Right.
what did he mean to you?
Oh, that was just that was like my brother, my bro, and in the purest sense, we knew each other since we were kids. We played baseball together. I mentioned that I played baseball growing up. We played baseball together for like a bunch of years, like 2, 3 years. We were on the same team. Then we kind of lost, connection as 13, 14, 15. Then we met each other again training at Fit Plus. We were both probably 18. Yeah, I'd say we were both 18. Maybe he was 19, and yeah, we fought. I fought on 2 cards with him, and like he was. I fought a kickboxing fight with on the same card that he fought a kickboxing fight. We fought on that, fighting our first MMA fight together. Trained with each other for the whole fight. So, um, yeah, and just wanted to continue the ride, the journey with him. You know what I mean? He was just so passionate about the sport. He wanted to become a champion. So I'm just glad. I just wanted to honor his name. You know what I mean? And have him continue fighting. Basically, you know what I mean? We started it together, and he's still he had my back on the first couple fights, and he's still there, kind of thing. So I'm just I'm happy I can honor his legacy and carry his name for all my fights.
I've seen him described as a great motivator, and I was just curious, what was his attitude like when it came to mixed martial arts?
And he was just like John Jones, Tyler. Like he was just made out of steel in the training room. Like he had these sorry, long arms. And he was a kickboxer. He loved kickboxing. Loved kickboxing. He was a striker at heart for sure. So he and he was tenacious. He was vicious. Like he would just find a rhythm, inspiring, and yeah, he would just not let guys off the hook when he fought them. He would just not let guys off the hook. He was in there to take you out, and I think he would have took a lot more. He would have continued to showcase his skills. If he was still here. Yeah. So um, yeah, it's yeah. Sorry, I'm losing my words here,
No,
but
I get a lot
yeah,
of respect for you and putting his name there and making, like I seen one of your posts that you're talking about, he's still going with you and whatnot to the
yeah,
octagon, and
yeah, for sure.
I thought that was really touching. I think that really shows, the bond that you both had and still have, his memory and whatnot. And yeah, I just wanted kind of a chance to talk about that because, I did see that name and I was looking into it more and I was like, okay, there's a story here that I would like to
Yeah.
just to hear.
No, yeah, I definitely feel like he's looking over me while in those cage fights for sure. So I'm yeah, I'm just happy. I'm honored to carry his name in all my fights.
Something a little bit more lighthearted maybe now would be just me kind of asking. I've seen some. Speaking about t-shirts, I think your t-shirt game is on fleek right now because I seen you had taken a picture with a person who was wearing a Luc
Yeah,
De Ste Croix
yeah,
shirt, but it
yeah,
has the Acadian flag. Are you Acadian?
yeah. So that was my granddad.
Okay.
So yeah, and that shirt was my aunt's idea. She just sent me a message and she was like, "I've seen some of the fighters have shirts," and she's like, "I'm gonna make you some. Like, I'm gonna sell them to the family. Like, I have a bunch of family that comes out to my fight. Like, my cousins come out. Like my immediate family. My granddad's been to every fight, I
Wow.
think, except for maybe my first. But yeah, he's every other fight. So I was happy to take the picture with the belt with him, and my aunt did a good job on the T-shirt. They look good. It's weird seeing yourself on a T-shirt, right? You know what I mean? But she did a good job. on that for sure.
You
So
think
that was
is she gonna start
that,
making more and more T-shirts? Start this enterprise. Your official
yeah,
merchandiser.
maybe, yeah, as my man, maybe, as a as a unofficial manager for sure. So she jumped on the and yeah, it I appreciated the support. I was like, and I didn't have to put any of my mind to it. Like, she was just like, would you mind if I did this? I was like, yeah, go ahead. Like she was like, I'll give you like the money I make from it to help for your camps and stuff. You know what I mean? Which isn't anything crazy, right? But like it just show, and she's been supporting me since like my first fight. You know what I mean? She couldn't believe it. So to see her, and she was there obviously on my last fight. So to see her to see me win that championship belt was very awesome to have my whole family there.
Um, I'm also curious. Again, just trying to pick up, see everything. I know you got Leonard De Ste Croix on your.
Yeah,
What's
yeah, that's the great granddad. So my granddad's dad, my great granddad, sorry. Yeah, and he was like a semi-professional hockey player at one point. He played high-level hockey, so I do feel like, he passed away when I was like 5 years old. You know what I mean? Like, so I have bits and very vague memories of him, but a lot of stories, a lot of stories. So yeah, that was just like something that I feel some kind of connection with him. You know what I mean? Like, as odd as that may sound, like I feel like he's giving me my fighter's blood. Like I wouldn't, I'm not this way I didn't choose fighting. Like I almost didn't have a choice. Like it was just I'd always been fighting, and he's probably the same way. So I think, yeah, and my granddad is like he's a Witchy-Roo karate black belt. Like he's been doing it for like 20 years. Like he's been doing karate forever, and like he bikes like he's in his 70s, and he hits the like 100 kilometers a day on his bicycle. He's been doing that for 20 years too. Like he works out every day. Like, so there's definitely a lineage for sure. So I'm just continuing. I don't really have a choice. I didn't really have a choice. I feel like I just kind of gravitated towards fighting. And yeah.
Do you have any lessons from your granddad in Weichi?
Oh man, like every time we see each other, he's from they're from North New Brunswick, my family, so they're like 5-6 hours away, like border of Quebec, kind of. I was in New Brunswick, but yeah, every time I see him, he's like telling me like about karate and like I should be punching A to B, like shorten my not winding up too much on my punches, and how I should be doing body conditioning for my arms and my shins. And like I was talking to him like the fight day, May 6th, before my fight, and he was like, "This guy is gonna be high level. Like he's from Alberta." Like he was like, so yeah, we're always talking about UFC together, and always watching it whenever I'm up there. So yeah, so always something to take from him. And my dad as well. My dad does boxing. You know what I mean? Just recreationally, but we're always like talking about UFC or just sparring each other, and whenever we see each other. So
That's great that you had that family support, backing, and connection with what you're doing, because yeah, it's hard when you don't have that, right?
yeah, no, it's amazing. Like it's nice to see so much support. You know what I mean? In like such a violent sport too. It's cool. Like it's appreciated to see my family all kind of like the only one, like my mom doesn't come to the fights because she can't, but she always asks to watch them after. She's like, okay, now I can watch it. So yeah, having that support is amazing.
Yeah, that's something to comment on, because I kind of feel like it's more nerve wracking. I mean, I haven't fought in a fight, but I find it more nerve wracking to see other people fight than to spar or to do anything like that.
Yeah.
It's like my heart's pumping and everything like that. And I'm wondering if there's any similarity between that and maybe like, you know, how people are often scared when somebody else is driving a car versus you driving the car.
Yeah. So. I'd say that's a good that's a good similarity, I'd say, for sure. Especially like your teammates. Like whenever your teammates are fighting, you're very nervous. You know what I mean? You're maybe not nervous, but you're just your emotions are so high. You know what I mean? Like, but and you get that way too. At least I do when I fight. But it's kind of a roller coaster ride of anxiousness, and then to come down, I'm like, okay, I'm calm. Like I've got this. Like I've trained for this. You know what I mean? Like I'm confident in my skills. Like I have mental highlight reels of, you know what I mean? I put the work in. Like I've been doing this, and then it goes right back to that high anxiety, and that's at least for me. I feel like it's like constantly like where I can't even speak. I'm so anxious fight day, and then like I get like 2 minutes of like, you know, peace, and then it's like, okay, we're right back. And then once you hit the warm up, then I'm pretty like zoned in. Like I'm not feeling too anxious anymore. I'm like just calm and collected, and then ready to fight for sure. So but there's some I'd say watching like teammates, and I haven't, you know, no family fight, but I imagine it would be tough, you know, like to watch because you know the consequences of, you just watched, you know, a bunch of other fights and their families are in the crowd, and you know what I mean, might have not went their way, you know.
So there's a mystery I have, because I know we're getting close time for you, because I know you gotta head out, train, do your stuff, everything like that.
Yep.
But I got kind of a mystery. FLA 10 happened, and that night I was at a certain gas station by the water and a car wash in Dartmouth, and I think I saw you, and I was talking with Alex Taylor, somebody who does like videography for Fight League Atlantic. Is there a possibility you might have been pulling up later that night?
May 10th? May 10th or not May 10th.
The last one. So I think weren't you in New Brunswick with the... I think
it was me, because I drove up with a couple teammates to Moncton, and then I didn't stay the night. I drove back down we carpooled back down, and I'm pretty sure I got like a red Gatorade or some, like I hadn't eaten, like so I'm pretty sure I did.
Do you wear glasses? Yeah,
I do when I drive. Yeah,
because this gas station that I won't say where, but I'm sure we have a good idea now.
Yeah.
I've met a lot of people in the fight community here, and I'm just like, wow, like, you know, I know we're all so close together, but I've gone there, and there's this one guy that works at nights. He's really into the UFC, FLA. He follows all of it, and do you know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, he's cool. Yeah.
He's like Luke. He's like, you got to get Luke on, man. He's like, he comes here all the time, and he's great. So I was like,
no, I know exactly who you're talking about. Yeah, and he, you know, he's got some stories of the junk that I've bought, and when I'm, you know, not training for a fight, you know, when I am, you know, getting ready, it's 0-calorie Gatorades and 0-calorie Monsters, but afterwards sometimes it's pretty crazy.
Be careful, you know, maybe one of your future opponents is try to find this guy and be like, hey, you know, slip $100 down the bill, you know, like, hey, you know, give me the intel. What is he eating? When is he eating?
Yeah.
No, hey, I really appreciate. Oh, it's okay. No, I just want to say I really appreciate you coming on there, Luke. I know that again that you're just about to head out, go training, and it really means a lot for you to come on here, kind of share your story, and you know, kind of how this summer has been for you.
Yeah, no, bro, I appreciate it, brother. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, I hope you have a good rest of your day.
Yeah, you too, brother. See ya. Thank you.
And I hope you guys enjoyed that episode with Luc De Ste Croix. It was a little bit shorter than some of the other episodes, but it was a lot sweeter too. And I didn't want to take away from his training at Tower 1. And but there's a couple things to take away from this episode, and I think it's when he was talking about in January of this year how he kind of had to look at himself and realize that he didn't possess certain strengths that he thought he had, and those strengths were actually in other people that he was training with at Tower 1. And I really think that shows a lot to his character and his ability to reflect on himself as a fighter. And so when he says that now, last 2 months, he's felt the best he's ever been, I believe him because of saying those types of things. Because there is killers at Tower 1. They're gonna start making a thing, because I've noticed a lot of the posts that Tower 1 and Gavin and whatnot have been putting about the sweeps. I mean, there is quite a few sweeps that are going on in some events with this gym, so they're doing a great job. Everybody over there, keep up the great work as always. But yeah, it's really good to have those frank conversations, and I really enjoyed having him on, Luke. And I learned this not too long ago, but I saw him at that gas station, and the community is only as like I used to think that this I'm from such a small town, so I forget this, but the community is only so big in this area, and we really need to help and support each other, to get guys like Luke and people that have done it like TJ Grant, Gavin Tucker, and everybody else is from this area on the big stage and to really represent us. So it's really great to have these conversations and to learn from people that are trying to do one of the hardest sports there, which is mixed martial arts. So yeah, so without further ado, guys, as always, if you're listening to this podcast on your preferred podcasting platform, one thing you could do is you could leave an honest rating as far as this episode. What do you like? What do you not like? And of course, you can also subscribe to the podcast, so that way when a new episode comes out, you won't miss it. And if you're part of the YouTube community and you're watching it on YouTube, you can also leave a like, a comment, or you can share the video. Of course, you can also subscribe to Good People, Bad Intentions, also on YouTube, and that way when a new episode comes out, you won't miss it. As far as updates, as far as when new episodes come out, etc., I strongly recommend, if you're not following me on Instagram, to follow Good People, Bad Intentions on Instagram, because oftentimes I will post when new episodes are coming out, or even try to post content about past guests, etc., what they're doing, and even the boxing MMA community, try to post some stuff from there. So if you're into that, strongly recommend you check me out also on Instagram. Without further ado, guys, I really enjoyed this episode. I hope you have a good rest of your day, whatever time you're listening to it. Maybe you're doing your dishes, maybe you're walking your dog, whatever you're doing. I hope you have a good day, and see you next time. Thank you.
Yo, the ring general, sweet science deep like a mineral. You can see the hunger in my interviews. Peep the interlude, this is just a preview. Give you all I got, put the past in the rear view. My team ready, the theme steady. Got bad intentions like I seem petty. Still a good dude, stay humble, never messy, never crumble under pressure. I'm shining like God bless me.